Hello everyone! Welcome. Today we're going to be doing our everyday yoga strap exercises. Okay, so I have a list of 13 exercises that I'm going to go through using our yoga strap. Okay, use whatever is readily available to you, whatever you've been using or whatever you purchased to kind of prepare for this class. I know most of you guys probably bought a yoga strap. Some of you guys are using belts, maybe some long exercise bands, or even a long sheet could work. Okay, you could be creative. Okay, but today I'm going to use my yoga strap that I'm using today. Okay, big thing about these daily strap exercises, I want you guys to be doing these before every single flow. Okay, this is going to be your warm-up leading into a vinyasa flow that you'll be executing. Okay, I'm going to give you a great example of 13 exercises. I also uploaded 2 other videos from other yogis that you could also follow, although I will say mine is a little more in depth and gives you a full body stretch. That way you're able to rock and roll before you do any flow. Okay, so first things first here. Okay, we're going to do a standing side stretch. Okay, you don't necessarily need to use the loop at this point. I'm just going to gather on one side and gather on the other. I'm going to get a little bit wider, okay, than my hips, and I'm going to make sure it's nice and taut, okay, so it's not loose. I have some firm pull going on each side, and I'm going to raise over my head here. I'm going to lean to the left side first. Make sure that your shoulder is nice and relaxed. You're not tight towards the ear. Okay, it's pulled down, and you're giving a nice gentle pull with that left hand, creating a nice long pull in the right side of the body. For those of you that need an extra or a little bit more, you can put your feet together and kick the hip out. So that opposite hip, my right hip, is going to go out further, and it just creates a little bit deeper stretch in that side body. Okay, perfect. Other side. Okay. Just a forewarning, I am going through these exercises a little bit faster, just to show you all 13, but feel free to hold these poses longer than what I'm holding. Some days you really need to listen to your body, okay, what it's telling you. You might need a little bit more love than other parts, so just be aware of what you're feeling. I'm going to go ahead and kick it out on my hip on the other side. Awesome. Alright, now we're going to do some shoulder circles. I'm going to get a little bit wider grip, okay, just so I know what my shoulder flexibility is, okay. If you need to get a little bit wider with your hands, that's absolutely no problem, okay. If you're somebody that needs to go really wide, just based off your shoulder flexibility, absolutely no problem, okay. Listen to your body, first and foremost. Alright, here we go. We're going to do some shoulder circles. So I'm keeping this nice and taut, and I'm going to let it roll over to my backside, okay? I'm going to show you the back view just so you know what it looks like, and bring it on forward. So you're somebody that's a little bit more flexible, you can create a little bit shorter grip. Okay, for me, I can't have any bigger range of motion than from right here, so I get a little bit wider, and boom, I can come on down. Okay, let's go through 8 more of these. Try not to really race through these, really feel the nice full range of motion. No rush, shoulders are nice and relaxed, and not towards your ears. Awesome, last 2. Beautiful. Okay, next one we have here is a tricep stretch. Okay, really similar if we were going to grab, I know you guys have seen this stretch before, where you pull up, elbow up top, and you give a nice pull, okay? We're going to kind of demonstrate that with our strap. I'm going to turn my back to you just so you have a better view of what it's supposed to look like, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure that my right hand has the top of the strap, okay? The length at this point you can dictate once your other hand reaches behind, so you don't feel like you need to have a certain length already in your left hand. But go ahead and bring that right tricep elbow towards the sky. And then you're going to grab, okay, the bottom of your strap here and give a nice pull. If you're someone that has a little bit of a shoulder inflexibility, you might grab a little bit lower. Somebody with a little bit more will grab a little bit closer, just so you can make sure that elbow gets nice and long and towards the sky. Make sure that your neck is not crunched. Your neck is still nice and long. You're not letting that arm collapse on top. You're still nice and big chest. Awesome. Let's switch it up to the other side. So same thing, my left hand is going to grab the top of my strap. And then my right hand is going to dictate the pull. Okay, we want to get that elbow nice and tall, as high as we can to the ceiling without compromising our neck. Okay, my neck is still nice and long. I'm going to give it a nice pull. Most of the work is doing with the pull hand, so don't feel like you need to compensate with the upper hand. If you give a nice pull, you really feel a deep stretch in the tricep. I know I do. Awesome. Okay, let that one go. Next one here is we have a front shoulder stretch. Okay, for those of you who are a little bit looser, this won't be too demanding of a stretch. But for someone who has a lot of overhand throwing and some overuse in the shoulders, I really do feel this one. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to start with my left arm. I'm going to wrap it towards my right hip. So the top of my hand is reaching for my opposite hip. And then I'm going to give a nice grip in the strap, and I'm going to pull that hand forward. Okay, it's giving a nice pull of my shoulder, just so you can see. Creating a nice long stretch in my chest. Don't let that hand creep up. Try to keep it really kind of on that back hip for the most part. Alright, awesome. Let's switch it up. Okay, so I'm going to then rest the top of my right hand on my left hip, get a nice grip in the strap, and then I'm going to pull it forward. I'm going to go this way. Same thing, it's the pulling hand that's doing most of the work here. The other hand is just kind of guiding and holding on. This is how you can really dictate this stretch. The more flexible you are, the more your shoulder will be pushed back. Make sure your scaps are engaged, the muscles on the top of your back. Okay? Your shoulders aren't rounded, they're nice and pushed back, and you're giving your nice pull. Beautiful. Okay. Our upper body is nice and loose now. Okay, I will say that the rest of our stretches are really geared towards our lower half of our body. Okay. Next one here. We have a standing forward fold. So we're going to tuck the strap underneath the balls of our feet, right in our arches here. The big thing here, okay, so I know we'll cover a forward fold. That was included in your, will be included in your first vinyasa flow that you guys will do shortly. It's a very pivotal movement that you'll do in yoga flows, yoga series. What the strap allows you to do here is still have a fantastic pull in your lower back and your hamstrings and your glutes, but it allows you to keep a straight back, okay? And I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, I'm somebody that I can touch the floor with both my palms. I'm pretty flexible here. But this will even create a bigger range of motion, more than even just me touching the floor, okay? Because a lot of that has to do with my lower back flexibility. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give I'd say about a foot distance grip on my strap here, and I'm going to keep a nice straight long back, and I'm going to give a nice pull from the strap on both sides. This creates just a really deep stretch. I'm not relying on my lower back flexibility. I'm completely just pulling on my hamstrings and my glutes, my calves. Make sure you're breathing, okay, as we go through. Don't lose your breath, your quality of breath. Make sure you have a rhythm. Your inhales are just as long as your exhales and vice versa. Awesome, awesome. Slowly, slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Kind of let that go. All right, our next one here, we're going to be on our back. We have a laying hamstring stretch. So the next 3 series, or actually next 4 series, we're on our back. I'm going to move through them just a little bit quicker for time's sake, but please, please, please hold them longer than what I'm showing you here. You can always pause the video, hold the stretch. I want you to do like a minimum of 30 seconds for each one, okay? And as you get more flexible and stronger, you're going to want to hold those stretches for even longer each time. Okay, so first one, let's get our loop around our arch of our foot. Lay on back. This is laying hamstring stretch. A nice pull, make sure your toes are either parallel to the sky, the ceiling, or even a little bit flexed down. Will create a stretch in the calf muscle. You give a nice pull, make sure your neck is nice and relaxed. You're on your mat, you're not crunching up. You're letting everything go. Awesome, now open up wide. Try to keep that leg as straight as possible. Even if your flexibility only allows you to come to here, you're still getting a great groin stretch. That's totally cool. If you need a little bit more, keep that leg stretched. Foot is still flat, and you're pulling toward your spine. Make sure too you're not compromising by like leaning towards that leg. Still keep your left side of your body nice and planted in a nice long line. Awesome, move it on over. We're going to do a crossover stretch. So we're going to cross this right leg over the left leg. Let that right leg get really heavy, and we're going to support it with this strap. Go ahead and hold with that left hand. Opposite hand is holding. And then that right hand is going to plant towards the ground for just a little bit more stability, and actually creates just a little bit more torque in that upper body. Awesome, go ahead and shake that out. We're going to switch it on over to the left side. Same sequence of 3 exercises. Laying hamstring stretch. Right leg stretched out wide. Left leg towards the ceiling, towards the sky. Foot nice and flat, and that loop of your strap is hooked right in the arch of your foot. Make sure with every exhale, it's almost like you're breathing into this exercise even more. You give even a little more of a pull on every exhale. It's a little bit deeper. Nice work. Open up wide here. Make sure your right side of your body is in a nice straight line. We're not compromising by leaning over that left side. Torso, spine is still nice and long. Not crunched at all. Perfect. Last one of this series. Let's cross this leg over. Oh. Put that left hand on the ground as the right arm gives a pull of the left leg. Make sure the gaze is over those planted fingertips as well. This creates a little bit more torque. Oh, let that go. Very nice. So this next one here, we're going to go ahead and cross our right leg over our left knee. And we're going to wrap the strap in between our thigh. Okay. Two things here. We'll give a nice pull with the strap on that left thigh to bring it closer to our chest, but at the same time, we're going to push out that right knee. Kind of counteract, creates an awesome stretch in that front and back of the hip. This is laying figure 4 stretch. Beautiful. Switch it on up, other side. We're going to cross the left knee onto the right knee, or excuse me, the left foot, ankle onto the right knee. Strap goes around the right thigh. We're going to give a nice pull, okay? For some of you, this is just enough, okay? I'm a little bit tighter on my left hip, so I'm feeling it a little bit more on this right side, okay? But if for those of you who want a little bit more, you just go ahead and press inside of that knee outwards. Moving on. Okay, we have 4 more exercises to go. The next one is going to be a quad stretch. Okay, and there are really quad and then hip flexor stretch are our next two. Okay, and you have 2 options here on doing them, and I'll show you both. The first option I'm going to show you is on the mat, laying on your belly, and then the next option will be standing. Okay, I've had students that like both variations, so it just depends on whatever you're more comfortable with, whatever you feel a greater range of stretch. And also the standing portion, you have to kind of consider balance as well. So listen to your body, whatever works best. I'm going to go ahead and strap the strap in the arch of my right foot. Then I'm going to lay on my belly. I'm then going to pull my heel as close to my bum as possible while trying to relax my neck. Okay, if you are not feeling too much right here, our neck stretch kind of like offers a little bit more. Is our quad hip flexor stretch. So for those of you who want to try it on your tummy, I highly encourage you guys to try both variations. But let's move on to our hip flexor stretch. Will just be a little bit deeper. You're actually going to flex the thigh a little bit and lift it off the ground. Okay? This is going to give, big thing here is you want to make sure that your knee does not go out wide. It's nice and in line with your other leg. You feel a nice pull in your quad and your hip flexor, which is connected right where your hip bone is. That hip flexor is connected to your quad. It's a pretty intense stretch, so don't feel the need to like hold this for a really long time. Awesome, okay. Let's go ahead. What I'll do then is I'll show you the standing variation for my left side, okay, but obviously you would do whatever you started with. If you started on your tummy, then you would do the left side on your tummy, okay. If you do your standing on your right side, then you do standing, okay. Just make sure you're matching. But I'm just going to show you both variations for learning purposes, alright. So let's go ahead and strap it on to our left foot. Okay, so same thing as when we were laying down, but I'm just now standing. This one kind of definitely puts in balance into the mix, so if that's a goal of yours, something you want to work on, then I suggest the standing one. And then if you want a little bit more, you're going to kick it back and lean forward, kind of let that knee go away from the line of your body. Make sure your chest is still big, like we're not crunched here. My chest is still nice and big, my gaze is up, and I'm just letting that knee kind of separate from my line of my body. As far as backwards, not outwards at all. I'm trying to connect my heel to my glute. Like I said, really focuses on your balance. If you're struggling, you can always kind of gaze at an object that's not moving, and that'll help with your balance. Awesome, awesome, let that go. Okay, so like I mentioned, I just showed you on my right side the laying variation, and then on my left side, I showed you the standing version. In my opinion, I think the standing is just a little bit more intense just because it's really focuses on the balance aspect, so maybe work up from doing your tummy ones to your standing. And just, try them both out. Some days you might want to go for a little bit more, some days your body's asking for less, so just make sure you're paying attention to what your body needs. Alright, the last two exercises, we're going to do a seated forward fold, so really similar to the standing. We're going to strap the strap on the arches of our feet. We're going to keep a nice tall back, okay? So I have a grip, I'd say, this will all depend on your flexibility, but mine's like a foot away from my feet. And I'm going to keep a nice tall back, so my spine isn't crunched. I'm really long here, and I'm going to pull while keeping my nice long back. Okay, something I really like about this stretch is, it focuses on your hamstrings and your calves, but it really gives a nice stretch in the lower back. That seems to be a question I get all the time, like, hey, how can I loosen my lower back? I sit a lot at work. Okay, well then this is a stretch you guys should be doing every day if you're one of those peeps, okay? And with every exhale, it's like almost like your chest is melting onto those shins. Embrace the uncomfortable. Slowly get out of this one. It's a pretty intense lower back stretch. Okay, last exercise, but certainly not least, okay? I would say that the calf muscles are one of the most neglected muscles as far as strength or as far as stretching goes. And we use our calves every day for every walking movement, sitting, jumping, riding a bike, running. I mean, you are totally using your calves, okay? So I feel like this is a great one to end on. It always just kind of reminds me of my poor calves and how much I neglect them. I'm sure that I'm not alone in this, okay? So a little bit different than all the other exercises. I've been telling you to hook it on the arch of your foot. On your calf one, you're actually going to hook it right underneath your toes line. You're going to lay back, and you're going to really pull those toes as much as you can towards your face. Okay, and a big help with that is if you do flex your foot, so that it is pointing down towards you a little bit more, you have an even bigger range of stretch. Woo! Yeah, this is a burner. Breathe into this. This is one I forget to breathe in. My calves are so neglected. Alright. Switch it on over, and like I said, I'm moving through this video kind of fast, but I hope that you guys hold these stretches for a little bit longer, especially as you gain some strength and some flexibility. Okay, same thing right underneath that toe line, not in that arch, and we'll give a nice pull. Flex the toes towards your face, even bigger range of motion. Awesome. I'm going to show you guys this one. This one more variation. Some people like to do this variation rather than laying on their back. Okay, so this next one, same thing, just right underneath the toe line. And I'm just going to be seated doing it. This one is not near as intense to me, but some of you guys might need to start here. Big flex of the toes. Okay, so I showed you both variations there. Like I said, the seated one is far less intense in my mind than the laying back one. But listen to your body, okay? What works best for you? Thank you for tuning in to your daily yoga strap exercises. Like I mentioned, this is a requirement for you guys to either go through these 13 exercises or you can try out the other 2 YouTube videos that I found that I thought were really great. But this is kind of a generic one that really works your whole body, okay? And this is what you guys need to do to get your mind right and your body right before you start our 10 vinyasa flows throughout the semester. All right, thank you.